C.R.P.H.A. advocate, being, of course, conservative Republican People's Humanitarian Advocate. Anyway, my first discussion today is the fact that I know that many people have been hearing too much about the involvement with the so-called Russian involvement with the so-called hacking or interfering with the election, which basically the liberal idiots want you to believe that the only way Trump was able to win was, of course, interference of hacking by the Russian government. And that's a whole bunch of horse bucky. Trump won the election against Hillary for many reasons, one of which Hillary didn't have any true logical positive path for the American people, our youth, and this country. As much as the liberal idiot Democrats, being of course the leftist liberals, wanted many people in this country to believe. They thought that the American people are brainless automaton zombies, that they will believe anything that the liberal Democratic idiots will tell them, like they apparently thought while Obama was in office. Little did they know that that wasn't the case, which basically gives them the inclination that they can act like little children just because they lost the election against the Republican Party and Trump by acting like little stubborn, idiotic children that are basically throwing a temper tantrum and trying to get the American people to follow their liberal words by believing whatever the liberals say, as if we don't have a mind of our own. The American people do have a mind of their own, and Trump doesn't need, and did not ever need the help from the Russian government, as much as the American people have heard the negative accusation concerning the election, of why they want us to believe, why the liberals want us to believe that's how Trump won. When basically and logically and realistically, Trump won on his own accord. With the fact that Trump also told the American people the truth. Yet Hillary went on the typical and normal political promises, which basically she knew a good number of them she could not keep. And yet the basic fact is that the liberal Democrats thought, oh, we can keep doing the common political promises, even the ones that we won't be able to keep, we'll just promise them anyway. Everybody else has, right? But Trump took a different route, and he told the American people the truth. He didn't hide anything. He didn't pussyfoot, as the word is. He didn't do nothing like that. He told the American people the truth. And that's one of many things that the American people like to hear, is the 100% honest truth. But yet the liberals wanted the American people to think that Hillary was the right choice, and she had a positive path for the American people and our youth in this country, which was again a bunch of horse shit. She didn't truly have a positive path. and viewing for both us in this country and for our youth and for the future and all for both the American people and our youth and this country. And of course, even the liberal political analysts would have even said, yes, it's true. She didn't have a clear, logical, positive view and path for this country and the American people and our youth. They even admitted it. But yet, the liberals want to still act like little children and keep on attacking the current victor, being Trump, because they can't handle the fact that they lost. Instead of being adults, they want to act like little children. A true logical adult, as they claim that they are still, would take the loss as a learning lesson and try to find out where they faltered, as it were. Which in this case, it's going to be in many avenues and many levels. But of course, the liberal Democrats want you to keep on believing that they truly care about the American people. But the more they go against Trump and the more they keep on using the negative, false accusation against our allies, being Russia, to start with anyway, is that they will be causing it where our allies, starting again with Russia, may decide to disband themselves from being allies with the United States. Thereby also the other countries that are our allies may follow the same pathway by disbanding themselves from being our allies. And with that, the liberals will be at fault for all that. Yet they'll try to turn it around on the Republicans because they don't think that the liberals don't think that they would be able to do anything wrong. Like, what are they, not human? What are the leftist liberals, not human? If they think they can never do any wrong, they're an idiotic, brain dead, more than clueless type of political party. Yet they're supposed to be a group of human beings following the leftist liberal way, and if they think they can never do any wrong, they're fucking kidding themselves. And I don't mean to curse there, ladies and gentlemen, but it's the truth. So logically, if they continue going down this route, they can cause and will cause a World War III if they continuously think that they can turn around and accuse our allies or non-allies for any negative or malicious act that the allies, such as Russia again, never really did. Just because they are not happy with the outcome of, say, for example, the 2016 election. In this case, the 2016 election, Vladimir Putin and the Russian government didn't have any involvement with the U.S. election as much as the leftist liberals want the American people to believe. So something is more than deeply, emotionally, psychologically wrong with the leftist liberal mindset. Well, you also put that in the same level when it came to the Jimmy Carter presidency. He is respected now, but when he was in office, he nearly completely ruined this country before Reagan came in. The only one that rectified everything that was done wrong and against the American people was Reagan. He fixed everything to where the American people were not affected negatively at all. And Trump can do the same dang thing. Trump can make sure that the American people are not negatively affected in any way, shape, or form. Thereby, the U.S. is given back to the American people. But the liberals don't want that. And I know many liberal followers will think that I'm saying a lot of horse shit, but I'm telling you the straight truth. It's the fact of the blindsidedness that the liberals want the American people to be blindsided, mindless zombies, and to believe every little thing that the leftist liberals say, even if it's not the damn truth. And that's not the way to be if you want to govern a country and protect and defend the United States and its citizens and do many positive things for its citizens, including the youth, being the future of this country and for this country. You don't do that, but the leftist liberals are so fucking brain dead, they have forgotten what the truth is. So logically, ladies and gentlemen who are watching this video, both on YouTube and Facebook, to start with, do not believe anything that the leftist liberals, including with Nancy Pelosi and Barbara Boxer and Dianne Feinstein, don't believe anything that they say. Not even Jerry Brown, the one that thinks that he knows what's best for the state of California, when Jerry Brown doesn't know jack shit what's right for the state of California. He's really tearing this state down, the state of California down financially and within the economic stature and much more. But yet he wants the American people and citizens of the state of California to believe that he's doing good things for the state. A lot of horse shit. Let's see, when Prop 39 went into fruition, being voted in for the funding for the California school, which would basically help give our youth in the state of California a better chance and better education. When he saw that was about to pass, after about a number of months after the fact that he found out his high tax plan, even after it was announced that it wasn't going to be passing, or it wasn't even a positive thing by itself. So what he did was, while he saw that the school funding proposition was about to pass through, when it was under the proposition legislation of Prop 39, in which he has gone many times on the commercials to advertise for Prop 39 for the California school funding. He went behind closed doors. Jerry Brown went behind closed doors and used the legislative loophole and changed it to where his high tax plan came out to pass instead of the school funding. And yet he came out right when it passed, and when the whole voting process was done, he came out with this big ass phony ass grin on his face, as if that's what the American people wanted. And yet Many businesses, including Palo Alto Sports Shop and Toy World, have suffered for it. In fact, Palo Alto Sports Shop and Toy World and many other businesses even before them have ended up having to close down because the business tax in this state is too fucking high. For even small businesses to even to survive as much as they can. I'm surprised even there are still small businesses in the state of California still, if at all. Even the ones that are a basic startup, if you will. So Jerry Brown is ruining the employment structure on that. Not even companies from other states want to come into the state of California because it's too damn expensive out here in the business senses, including besides the living situation is when it comes to the state in any county practically. And it's not only the counties of Santa Clara and San Francisco and San Mateo and Sacramento and LA counties and various others that are becoming more than expensive at times for even to have a stable living to where even the people who are on working moderate to family, single, and fixed income situations, as well as the ones that are on basic low income financial stature as well. So again, Jerry Brown is not doing a damn thing that's positive for the state, and yet he wants the federal government to fund this state, even if and when this state is turned into a sanctuary state. Donald Trump said a smart thing by saying that he ain't gonna have the federal government send the state funding if the California turns into a sanctuary state. And thereby, of course, if Frisco still declares itself as a sanctuary city, they're putting themselves in jeopardy and their citizens of California in jeopardy by doing that, by even declaring it especially. So, as you can tell, is that even by trying to make California into a sanctuary state, this whole entire state will more than suffer economically within the state budget and financially, and thereby it would go bankrupt. And if Jerry Brown thinks that he would be able to go through the court system to force the federal government to send funding to a sanctuary state and its cities, he has something wrong with his brain if he thinks that Trump's going to allow that, because Trump is a person that will stand by what he says, and he ain't going to falter because of a liberal, idiotic, jackass, leftist, liberal Democrat did a stupid thing by risking and negatively affecting the state of California and its citizens by thinking it was a good thing because of the illegals. And I'm not against illegals, but the basic fact is that you don't turn a state sanctuary into a sanctuary state just in so-called defense of the illegals. If there's illegals, then they could go through the process of becoming a citizen without causing a large ass fucking controversy, as the liberals have made it. by continuously allowing illegals to go to cross the border and come into the states illegally, which is not logical. It has never been logical for that to happen. Yes, we're descendants of immigrants, but those immigrants came by sea to Ellis Island, and they did it the legal way. They didn't, and there was no conflict of anything or on any level of them being declared illegals and the whole political bullshit process happening even by the leftist liberals. Of course, even back in the time of the immigrants that we all are descendants from, the known leftist liberals were only known as just plain simple Democrats, and that was even during the Kennedy administration, and even before the Kennedy, many years before the Kennedy administration. But after the Kennedy administration, things went completely more than awry and haywire. Thereby, now the leftist liberals are only about themselves, just like the unions had become, instead of about where the unions used to be about the American worker, but now the unions are about themselves. They're not about our youth's education either, in positive light either. So logically, the government has been more than corrupt, and it's all due to start with, the incompetence and brain deadness of the leftist liberals. I will tell you that if the leftist liberals don't want to cause a World War III, they better back off of Trump and back off the American public by continuing this negative accusation against our allies, including with Russia, and quit going against Trump and actually act like adults and logical human beings, and accept defeat and learn from your mistakes, leftist liberal idiots. Or you will cause World War III, and it could easily end up to where there's more than lives lost and dead, and it could easily end up on our land, being the United States, like what happened after 9/11, where it ended up over in Iraq and Afghanistan on their land. But if the leftist liberals do not start working alongside logically with the conservative Republicans, then and actually do what's best for this country, along with the conservative Republicans, and what's good for the American people and our youth, like they should, to better govern this country, then they will cause a World War III, and they won't be able to rectify it. They're not miracle workers. So logically, ladies and gentlemen, American people, I am telling you the straight truth, and I have also posted a good percentage of what I have voiced out on my advocate blog page via Facebook. If you have Facebook, you will be able to look it up by going to C.R.P.H.A. and if you don't get onto my page, you'll possibly see a number of my postings, and possibly one about the hacking situation that I mentioned. If you have any comments or anything, please send a comment on the bottom of this video. And if you like it, or if you have any questions, or if you dislike it, hey, that's your right. But I'm telling you straight fact of what's really been going on. and what's been really being done. But I will voice out more, but not until possibly either tomorrow or at some point within this year. But you will know. Have a good day.